Hey everyone, this is a witch life video. This is going to be one of the videos in a series of how to become a witch, how to formulate spells, etc., etc. So the first thing to being a witch is to have an altar. Now, I know that I came busting out of the broom closet, waving my broom, happy to be a witch. But I do understand that there are some people that are not able to come out of the broom closet, and they need to be able to covertly practice. And this is one idea. I do have a second altar, which is great for like tiny homes, or if you don't have a lot of room. I will show that in another video. But for right now, I want to show you how you can have an altar that you can put up and break down with everyday innocuous items, and people will not know that that's actually, when it's assembled, it's actually your altar. So the first thing that you want to do is you get some bed risers. I got these for $5.96 at Walmart, okay? You're going to need these because you're going to have to prop up your table. You want to make sure that it's going to be high enough so that you're not like leaning down. Now, you could always have just like a very simple, tiny little one that you could just kneel down on the ground for. But this is, especially because when I'm out here and I have to do spells and everything, I'm going to need like a big workspace. And the more proficient you become, you might find that you want bigger space so that you can have more room to mix your ingredients, to have maybe a couple of different spells at the same time, especially when it's like a new moon or a full moon. You have to do a couple of different spells at the same time, and you need enough space to have all those spells going. So right now, we're going to start with these 4 bed risers. So you're going to put them down on the floor. You're not going to have to arrange them just yet. We'll get to that in a minute. So you're just going to assemble these down on the floor. And I'm sorry you can't see it because it has to, the camera's stationary. I don't have anybody help me film. So you got those out on the floor. So the next thing, I also got this at Walmart. This is a folding table. I forgot how big it is. It's not really that big. I mean, this is the half size of it. So, so this is, it just basically breaks down. It's a folding table. It has a nice carry strap there. You just open it up like that. And you get the legs up. Now, make sure that's locked in. I usually do this. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now, these legs pull up, okay? But it doesn't just pull up to that one height. It pulls up to a second height. So I kind of have to... It's not that easy. Yeah. It's easier to do this when you have it on the floor. You keep your foot on that section, and then you pull that up to the second height. Come on. There we go. Okay. So now this is locked and ready to go. But as you can see, when I put it down on the floor here, it's an okay height, but you kind of still have to bend over a little bit. I like it nice and even. But for the moment, I'm going to put this off to the side because I want to talk to you about the tabletop. So I'm not going to put this up just yet because the tabletop is pretty big and I need the room. So now, this is a huge piece. It's a big art piece, as you can see. Okay. This is one of those Indonesian things. It was bought. It's wall art from Ross. Okay, I forgot. See, I got this for free. Somebody was throwing this out. So I got it for free. So I'm not sure exactly how it costs. It's probably not cheap. It's probably like, I don't know, like maybe like 40, 50 bucks at Ross. I did paint it a gold metallic finish. You can still see some of the original one in there. Now, it does have holes in it. so things can drop through. So to solve that problem, I went to Lowe's. Bought some plexiglass. It's kind of flexible, but when you have it directly on that, because it has that nice solid frame at the side, it sits on there perfectly. Nothing's going through this. I had to cut it down to fit. I think like buying the cutter, I think it was like $3 or $4. So altogether, this altar would probably end up costing you, I don't know, maybe $70 or $80. The other option that I have for a tiny home would probably cost you that, maybe a little bit more. You can always, I mean, witches are so big on recycling and upcycling and all that. If somebody is throwing away something and you see it and you like it and you think you could use it for an altar, grab it. You know, if you see a tabletop like this, you can go to like Lowe's or Home Depot. They sell legs. You can get big legs, little legs, whatever, and you can like make this cute little end table. And you'd be like, oh, what a cute little end table, and then that's your altar. So there's like all different kinds of ideas that you can use for an altar. This is just mine, and this is to give you an idea of what you can do. Like if you go to Ross and you get maybe not as big as this, but you get a piece of wall art and it has like the holes in it, you could just get like a little piece of plexiglass. And so you hang this on the wall, or you can even attach the plexiglass to it. You don't have to have it separate. I just have it separate. But you can attach it to it like a museum piece or whatever. And you could just like hang the whole caboodle on the wall, and then when you're ready to, you just take it off the wall and you put it on top of the tabletop. Bam! Or you just take it off the wall and screw some legs onto it. There you go. That's your altar. And no one is the wiser that that thing hanging on the wall you use for witchcraft. So I'm going to put this to the side for a minute. Lee, you got to get out of the way. It's going to sit right on your tail. The kittens are very curious today. Especially Lee. Lee is up my butt today. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up and I'm going to set them on top of... I'm going to set these on top of the bed risers. There's that. And that. Let me see. I better move this back so I'm a little more centered when I'm on the screen. Oh, you're all right, dog. Oops. Crap. Almost had it. That. I'll go back and get this other one. Actually, let me move this forward just a bit because that top is going to come and it's going to push me back even more. And that's another thing too. You can just, this is so lightweight, you can just hold it up and then just use your foot to push your bed riser right into place. There you go. So that's centered up there, sort of. Move this a bit. Get this toy out of the way. Enough. Now, one thing that I've noticed about this, because there's kind of like this hump right here, and that hump makes everything else wobbly on the side. So I have, because of my dog's condition, I have plenty of puppy pads. So I just take two fold up puppy pads and put this up. And then center it. That. Center that. Now, so that's fine and dandy, but because of the holes in it, you can see everything underneath. So if you feel that you need to cover, anything will work. You can use a tablecloth. You can use a runner. What I use, and you could go to like Goodwill, Salvation Army, pay a couple bucks for it, you know. Or you could go to the dollar store. You could get like the seasonal ones for like $1. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. There's like no rhyme or reason that you have to have this thing or that thing for this reason or that reason. And I have, be right back. I know I'm breaking the illusion that I'm at a magical waterfall here, because I know you were completely fooled by that background. So I have this. I love this fabric. This is my favorite fabric. I went to Joann. I bought it 2 years ago at Joann's. I went back. They didn't have it this year at Halloween. And I was like, oh, shit. So what it is glitter spider web fabric. Listen, Miss Piggy, you're fine. So I'm going to just turn this around, because it's longer this way. Okay. There we go. So now I have this beautiful fabric on here, but of course it's gonna get all over me everywhere. But there's your altar. You can put, like I said, you can put a runner down the middle. What I usually do is I usually have something in the center, like the runner, or a placemat. If you go look online, you'll see altar cloths. But altar cloths, they're very small. They'd only fit in the middle part. They really wouldn't go down this far. So if you have something that's this large, I suggest a runner down the center, and then maybe a placemat. Because especially if you're working with hot items, such as your cauldron, and I'll show you and talk about the cauldron a little bit later. So you're working with a cauldron, or you've got your incense. You don't want to, especially on this fabric, you can't wash this fabric. So you want to make sure that this fabric is clean. So absolutely, have a couple of different placemats. I mean, like I said, you can go to the Salvation Army and you can buy it, and you know, it's a couple of bucks. So you don't have to break your bank to make yourself an altar and make yourself, you know, a really pretty setting for yourself. This is just an idea for you to figure out just exactly, you know, what would work for you and how to set this up for yourself. But like I said, because I'm going to have a camera up here, I'm going to have a lot of spell items and everything. I might have a couple things going at the same time. It's a lot easier to have it right here in front of me, as opposed to having a small one and then having, you know, this, that, and everything else. So this is why we're going large here. I did have this actually set up in my house, in my living room, but I started acquiring more and more dolls, and then I ran out of room. So now it's disassembled, and it waits for me to start filming witch videos. So, so this is the disassembled one. In another video, I will show you the like tiny house living or limited space type. It is an altar that would probably be noticeable to some people, or at the very least it would be eye-catching, and people are like, oh, what is this here? So for anybody that has to be in the closet, it's not the best idea. But if you live like in a camper, tiny, really small apartment, this would be a really great idea. And I'll get to that a couple of videos from now. But this, that's it for this video. I was just showing you and some ideas on how you can stay in the closet and yet still be a witch. So I will see you in the next video, and we will talk about how to set up your altar. Thanks for watching, guys.